Yes, so there are a lot of situations where people are literally being deceived to be fallen in the office of practicing witchcraft unaware. And it is my opportunity to detail how a person can avoid being deceived by the devil in such a way. I'm going to specifically talk about bitterness and hatred because these things can be used as tools for witchcraft. These type of tension and intrinsic, they are literally vehicles for witchcraft. And if a person is informed and is told, then he can avoid being a victim of such deception. Witchcraft is a matter of evil deeds being administered, which could open doors for demons to attack. And in a situation of hating a person, the person who is being hated can be oppressed by demonic forces unaware because somebody somewhere hates them profoundly. And that is a form of witchcraft. That's why the Bible said in Ephesians 4:26, "Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath." The reason why the word is saying this is because if the sun catches, if the setting of the sun catches your wrath, it means that you are literally confined to a profound form of tension or anger or hatred, which is not of God. And we must learn to find ways to work on things as such. When we have situation like that, we could seek God and ask God for the strength to be liberated from anger and hatred, so that we won't be fallen in the position of being used by the devil unknowingly. And so I'm going to really detail the reality of things and how things can be done to people unknowingly. Now, there was a story of a man called Micaiah, and Micaiah was a prophet. He was a real prophet, and he was under attack by the false prophets and wicked people. However, there were two kings, and one was the king of Israel, which was Ahab, and another king. And these other kings were about to go to war. And in the time of, in biblical time, kings used to seek the advice of prophets before they, go to do any form of war, because the prophets were the mouthpiece of God. And so by being told, by the prophets, right there and then, whatever the prophet says, you would know if you are going to make a progressive move or if you should stay from going to war. If the prophet said don't go, then don't go. But if the prophet said go, then it means that God says to go once that prophet is a real prophet. Because even in the biblical times, there were false prophets. However, Micaiah was brought to the kings. Okay, Micaiah was brought to the kings because Micaiah was respected as a real man of God. How? Because his prophecies did come to pass. And that's how you know a prophet is real. And so he was brought before the king, and the king already had 400 prophets set out, prophesying lies, telling them that they can go, they are going to win the war. But Micaiah the prophet, he was asked to come, and he came. And Micaiah was already given a revelation from God, about a situation that would eventually come about. And the situation did come, which was the situation of being presented to the king and the 400 false prophets. And the 400 false prophets, they were deceived by a lying spirit, unaware. And the lying spirit, he indwelled those false prophets and deceived them, deceiving them to prophesy lies. And Micaiah was given the revelation of God. And this is the revelation. Okay, there was a moment that took place in the heavenlies spiritually, and Micaiah was given the revelation by God to see this moment. So Micaiah began to explain himself in the presence of the king, and this is what he said. And he said, "Hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw the Lord sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing by him on his right hand and on his left. And the Lord said, Who shall persuade Ahab, which was Jezebel's husband, that he may go up and fight at Ramoth Gilead? And one said on this manner, and the other said on that manner." So there was not a real definite conclusion as to what is to be done. And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, "I will persuade him." Now this spirit, remember, this is a spiritual situation. And, the Bible spoke about the host that was standing on either side of God, and they must be angels. But they did not allow themselves to settle for lies. But there was a spirit that came forth, the Bible said, and stood before the Lord and said, "I will persuade him." See? And the Lord said unto him, "Wherewith?" And he said, "I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets." Okay? And he said, "Thou shalt persuade him, and prevail also. Go forth, and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord has put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these thy prophets." And this is what Micaiah was saying to the kings. That means what they were prophesying was not reliable. It was a lie. "And the Lord has spoken evil concerning thee." But Zedekiah the son of Shinana went near and smote Micaiah on the cheek and said, "Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee?" Now Zedekiah was one of those people who were prophesying falsely. But Zedekiah, he was not aware that he was being deceived by a lying spirit. See, that's how stealth and insidious these demons are. They sneak up on you and influence you and manipulate you and have you do things that are not of God. And I bring this up to let us know that a person can be influenced by demons unaware. And that is why it is important to be able to be told and to be spoken to and to be approachable. If you are none of these things and are overtaken with pride, demons are going to eat you for supper. Okay? And so Micaiah was the man of God, and he was really led by God. He was given this revelation in advance, and he spoke to the people and tell the people that they shouldn't go up. But the previous prophets, which were the 400 prophets, they said something different to that of Micaiah. Okay? But Ahab was stubborn. And Zedekiah, he was so mad as he was told that his prophecy was a lie. And as he thought that he was prophesying truth, he's being blind by a demonic lying spirit, he slapped Micaiah in the face. You see, these are the reaction of people who are led by demons. Instead of humbling himself and acknowledge that he was prophesying lies, he went and slapped the man of God. But when you read further down, he paid for it. He paid for hitting the man of God. You see? So I bring this up to let us know that we ought to be careful. We could literally perform in witchcraft unaware. You see, when you are influenced by hatred, you have opened a door for a demon of hatred. And when a person hates another person, when a person is being driven by hatred, all type of evil thoughts can come to mind. And these thoughts are also open doors. So you can open doors through thoughts. So the Bible said in Romans 12 verse 2, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see, the mind can also sin. The sin literally begins in the mind. The mind is the center of everything. It's the heart of the soul. If your mind is filthy, your life would be filthy. That's what the devil is targeting, your mind. So therefore, when you have hatred in you, you have opened a door. And when you hate someone, your hatred is going to send witchcraft at demons at that person. And when you are driven by hatred, you are going to be led to say things, bad things, which are going to open other doors for other demons. Right there, you are performing witchcraft. And a lot of people don't know this. Bitterness and hatred are not too far from each other. Anger, bitterness, and hatred go hand in hand. Murder, hatred, and these things go hand in hand. There is a part in the Bible when it says that when you hate your brother, you murder. And I'm going to bring it up, because we Christian needs to be careful. Yeah. Very important that we are careful. Because if we are not, we could be performing a lot of evil. Be practitioners of witchcraft and many type of craft and not knowing it. In 1 John 3 verse 15, the Bible said, whosoever hated his brother is a murderer. And ye know that no murderer has eternal life abiding in him. You might say, well, how is that so? Is it murder a physical contact where a person has done a blow, a violent blow to another person and murder that person? You could literally murder a person just by hating that person. You see, the Bible said we wrestle not against flesh and blood. When you hate, you open doors for demons. And demons are going to oppress that person. Right there, you already passing threats of murder and are already sending blows of murder. Okay? It's only God who will protect people. Okay? If your hatred is profound and resilient and adamant, okay, you could literally cause a person to be sick from your hatred, because your hatred is going to emanate demons unaware. You have to understand that everything that happens, most of the time there is a demonic spirit behind it. If you say something negative, there is a demonic force behind that. And if you speak that negativity towards another person, you literally have sent a demon to that person. Demon or demons to that person. That's witchcraft. That's why we must not bear false witness. Because bearing false witness is literally saying things about people that are not true. And you're sending demons at that person. Because the demons, they are in the atmosphere and are waiting for an opportunity for sin to take place in order for them to come in and start administering destruction. The Bible said that the devil has come to kill, steal, and destroy. That's what demons are about. Therefore, we got to be careful in our members, and we got to be careful with our emotions. Because there are demons that also work in your emotions. And if a person is sensitive, that's not cool. People think that sensitivity is cool. It's not cool when you are sensitive and are not able to control your sensitivity. You can literally sensitize yourself to destruction and cause yourself a lot of havoc in your emotions. You got to pray and ask God to deliver you from your sensitivity. Because you know, you could be somewhere, somebody say something, and because you are sensitive, that could be a spirit. They got demons of sensitivity, and it could be inherited. It could be given by your mama or your dad who was sensitive, and that demon passed on to you and literally eclipse your character and take full control of your character and causing you to live a miserable life, can't deal with things because you are too sensitive. And when you are too sensitive, you are easily angered, easily vexed. And people are not going to want to be around you because you can't take certain, like, you can't, have a conversation without taking it too hard and prolong it. There are some people, they last in their anger for years. And I'm going to tell this, you can't be a Christian and have anger in you. Your incessant anger must be stopped, or else it will anger you straight to hell. That's what the devil does. Anger, bitterness, these are vehicles and instruments and weapons of witchcraft. And I want you to know this. I'm saying this so that this could be brought to the attention of people in Christendom. Because what happened is, in the conventional churches, you don't really get these deep type of teachings. In the conventional churches, you're gonna go to the church in your skip-de-doo-dah dress and your lipstick looking all Jezebelish and your bottom printing out in your tight jeans with your little cute Bible, thinking that you're gonna go to heaven. No, you are not going to go to heaven in such a manner, such attire, with such mindset. If you are in a church that is about the world, you need to run like beep beep out of that church. You got to beep beep out of that church and go away before you die and find yourself in hell and say, Lord, Lord, haven't I cast out demons in your name and in your name prophesied? Who do you think these people are? These people were church goers and they die and found themselves in hell. This is the thing. A lot of people are going to die and see themselves in hell and be shocked. Why am I here? Because they were in a church in which the pastor used to go to the theater and watch Aquaman. The Bible said, whoever make friendship with the world is an enemy of God. If your pastor go to the movies, you got to question him. The Bible said we must not make friendship with the world. There are pastors that are going to the movies and are watching Equalizer. They are watching Equalizer. And then they're going to preach ice cream gospel. They're not going to preach holy gospel, because if they do that, they're going to be speaking against themselves. That's why you're not going to get these type of pastors preaching holiness. That's why when you see a church that is mega and is full, you better run. Because most of the time, the children of God are few. Most of the time, the word of God is not that popular. In the days of Noah, Noah was the only one who had the gospel. And how many people were in the world? A lot of people. And Noah was the only one who had the gospel. It's the same thing today. The true gospel is not as popular as the conventional one, the gospel of prosperity, the gospel of hip-de-doo-dah, dip-de-dee-day, we eat cookies every day. That's the type of gospel people like. They can live in fornication and adultery and masturbate like a clown